Welcome to my channel. The Geylang Bahru family murders. A big thank you to my viewer who suggested today's content. It was January 6, 1979 in Singapore. The time was around 6:35 am, when 38-year-old father Tan Kok Soon and 30-year-old mother Lee Mei-ying both left for work. They owned a minibus service which took students to school. Their children, Tan Kok Peng aged 10, Tan Kok Hin aged 8, Tan Kok Soon aged 6 and Tan Chin Na aged 5 were all still at home in bed asleep. Their mother called them at 7:10 that morning to wake them all up. She called about 3 times, but didn't get any answer from her children. She decided to contact a neighbor and see if they could go and check on the children. The neighbor went around and knocked on the door, but still the children did not answer. It was just after 10 am that Tan and Lee returned back home. They would enter their property and find a horrific scene. All of the children were found dead in the bathroom, piled on top of one another. They had slash wounds to their heads, and Kok Peng, the oldest child, had his arm almost severed. The police were quickly notified. The police found no forced entry to the property. They found no murder weapons at the scene, and didn't find much evidence left behind. The property had nothing missing and hadn't been ransacked. However, police found that the eldest child had several strands of long hair in his right hand, and it is believed that he had put up a fight trying to defend himself. Police also found bloodstains in the kitchen sink which looked like they had tried to be cleaned up before the killer left the property. Police soon came to the conclusion that the murders had been premeditated. Due to the fact it was 1979, DNA testing was not as advanced as it is today. It was during the investigation that police came to the conclusion that the killer or killers had known the family. It is reported that Lee had undergone sterilization after the birth of her last child, which only close friends and family knew about. Just 2 weeks after the murders had taken place, Tan and Lee received a Chinese New Year card. In the card was written, "Now you can have no more offspring." It was signed the murderer. It is also believed that the card had also addressed the parents by their nicknames. Over the course of the investigation, police would interview over 100 people who knew the family. The police would also appeal for any witnesses. One man became a suspect in the murders after a taxi driver had picked him up that morning and saw he had bloodstains on his left side and was also carrying a knife. He was known as Uncle, and was believed to be close to the family and visited on a frequent basis. However, he would later be cleared of any suspicion of the murders. It has also been reported that Lee and Tan were supposed to have brought Uncle his local lottery ticket. However, when his numbers came up and he went to collect his money from Tan and Lee, they had to admit that they had forgotten to buy the ticket, which made him really angry. It is believed that he thought that they had kept the money for themselves. It is believed that this is the reason why he killed the children, as a form of revenge for this. However, it is unclear how true this information is, and may well not be true at all. It was also claimed by an eyewitness that Lee was seen arguing with a man from a nearby flat. However, nothing ever came of this report. The children were buried on January 7, 1979 at Cho Chu Kong Cemetery. It wasn't long after this that Tan and Lee decided to stop their minibus service. 5 years after the murders, Lee had her sterilization reversed and would go on to have a baby boy. Sadly, no one has ever been caught and charged for the children's murders, and will no doubt remain unsolved. We really hope that someday, this tragic case will be solved and the family can finally get justice for their children. Our hearts go out to the family of these children. May they never be forgotten. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to view other content.